Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Rotation. We are back after the bye, after the mid-season break, after the long time no talk. Let's go, baby. We've got Rage Machine 420 in the chat. That is the first person I saw in the chat, and you have a wonderful name. If you're watching here live on the YouTube, hello. If you're listening after the fact, wherever you can listen to podcasts, because that's where you can find this podcast. Hello, thank you for listening. It's Ashley, aka MiDNiTE, here with Kingdom Soldier. What's up,
Yo,
Kingdom? How you been?
I'm good, man. I watched some fun Call of Duty this weekend, and I'm excited that we had something where, AMs could play with pros, even though the entire bracket was pro teams. But that makes sense, right?
That does make sense, and I think if other things are happening, then I wouldn't say it's an issue because it's definitely exciting. But I mean, the Call of Duty League, the pros are the pros, and it was interesting to watch them stack up against one another. But I think we got some results that, I mean, at least bracket wise, that we were expecting. So Icon is usually on the show with us, but tonight he is out sick. Icon, I feel that. I've been there. I hope you feel better, bud. He said he'd be watching from the couch, so I hope you go keyboard warrior status if you can, Icon. Otherwise, we'll get your takes next week. But let's freaking go. Edgar in the chat, let's go. Janu in the chat, let's go. We got a ton to talk about. We have some very obvious things to talk about with Rokkr, the overall roster changes, the Rokkr roster change, the state of Rokkr. We're going to get to that. I think first, I definitely want to touch on, one thing. Your dog's name is MiDNiTE. Nice, bro. Nice. My name is your dog's. Oh, wait, no, your dog is. Wait, well, hold on. My brain just broke. Your name is my dog's name, which is Levi. And also, if you hear Levi barking in the other room, it's not my fault. It's because, we got neighbors. We got neighbors with other dogs and they're barking. But, we got Mama Tatch in the chat. Let's go.
Hey.
Kim, let's go. So, Kingdom, obviously, I know you got to be beaming because it's not even a trope on the show. It's real hype. Kingdom is NYSL's biggest fan of all time. Just kidding. But, he's a big fan of Clay, big fan of Crim and everything they're doing. So here we watched NYSL take the Pro-Am. They won it. Congrats. You got Hydra, Paul X, Crim. Oh, my God. I'm forgetting. Is that Kismet? That's Kismet.
Yes, that's Kismet.
Yes, let's go, Kismet. Bro, I've been a big fan of Kismet. I thought he'd make it back to the league, and look at him.
He did good. Paul X, first grand finals W. He had a lot to say with his calm demeanor after they won. I think he just was like shouting out the haters. Crim6 proved he is undoubtedly one of the best interviewees we have in the history of the CDL.
Oh, pure comedy. Thank goodness. Thank goodness we got Crim6. A pro with personality. Love it or hate it. Give us personality.
Oldest player in the league, winning chips. And that, I looked at all the tweets and everything. Everybody's tweet out in the last, 8 CODs. He's only not won a championship on 2 of them, which World War II was, he's on another World War II title and he got a victory. And I remember I called them NYSW a while back because I thought they were going to win the last event and they didn't even, But I think a lot of people are saying that they had an easy road. But I noticed after the event was over, I didn't hear too much of that chatter. But while things were going, but I think them beating LAT twice, pulling off a full sale, like the way they were beating teams, only losing 1 hard point the entire event. Like NYSL, Crim, the top 10 KDs from this event, only one of them was from this team, and that was Hydra, and he was 10th. It's just, they know how to win. And if you can, like I've said this before, and this is why I really wish Icon was on the show, but he's dodging me.
He just.
I hope you feel better, Icon. But
we do.
I know you didn't want to talk about this, but like, I'm a Crim fan, and I'm one of those fans that people don't like. Like I'm a LeBron fan. I was a Jordan fan, and
luckily, bandwagon Kingdom. Come on.
Yes, 100%. I'll just be straight up. Like LeBron's been in the league for 19 years, so I haven't had to switch, to a different player. And so like basically since Jordan. And so when it comes to the league, like Crim6, I followed him to every team. I honestly wasn't a big fan of him back in his like Cole days, he was the enemy, right? You know, like, I mean, you remember you were back in Optic at
Crimbot,
that
dude,
time,
when
like,
he activated, God, it was annoying as an Optic fan.
oh, he was the enemy, and then he came on to Optic and kept winning. And for someone like him to still be able to get a chip, you know, a lot of people. I mean, we have a lot to talk about because FaZe hasn't won anything this year. We've had 4 different winners, none of them were Atlanta FaZe. Like, you know, and so I think that there's a story to be told about FaZe. There's a story to be told about who really is number one in power rankings. A lot of people have FaZe still number one, but I'm like, I mean, why not Optic, right? They won an event. You know, it's kind of hard to, and then they had General this event and still made progress, you know, and so like I feel like they were close to winning, but they have proven to be the kryptonite, which is funny because they're green of FaZe. And NYSL, yeah, they took an easier route, I guess. They went through a lot of no teams that placed top 6 in the last event, and then they ran into LAT for the second time, and they clutched up and took it home, you know, and so I
LAT's
really.
tippable. It's tippable.
Yeah, because LAT was playing good this event, except for when
Yeah.
they ran into NYSL and got full sailed and 3-0'd.
Yeah, I mean it was interesting to see, you know, Krim, the winningest player of all time, most chips. I think something kind of cool. I mean, I know obviously Kismet was a pro during year 1 of the league. I can't remember how far he made it into year 2, and now in year 3, you know, he was in the AMs. So that marks 2 events in a row where somebody has come up onto a team from the amateurs. And one obviously with LAG you had Spart, and now with NYSL you have Kismet. So really cool to see. Kingdom, I'm gonna challenge you a little bit because we're talking about chips, and I'm gonna say this. I mean, we don't have any dip for the chips for the Pro Am, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like, let's level set, and I would love to know the chat's opinion on this too. But does this chip count? Like, is this like one that Crim6 adds to the notch on his belt? I think it was a LAN event, which gives it huge ups, right? It gives you that, like, okay, they were on LAN. It was even playing field. You had all 12 of the pro teams. You had, you know, you had the amateur teams there. Hey, we got the CDL Intel poll with
49,000 votes. Wow, with a
40,
yes.
yeah, almost 50K votes. It's called, what is 50K votes? 40% say yes. 33% say no. Then you got yes with an asterisk, and then see results. I clearly have an unpopular opinion. I think yes, there was cash on the line for this event. Yes, you want to show up to a LAN and win. That's definitely something to be proud of. Like if RØKKR won, I'd been like, that counts, right? So I'm definitely, I know, like, I understand how I look and how I sound. John Ooh in the chat says it counts. There's no pro points on the line, and thank God. Thank God there was no pro points
yeah.
on the line this weekend, because Rokkr would be in rough shape if that was true. But
I mean,
it
New
makes
York would
me
have loved
wonder
that.
if you look at the placement of FaZe and Optic, and just how, you know, how some of the top teams played, like, they'll never tell you that they weren't trying all the way. But it makes me just wonder, like, were they locked in? Did they care about this? Is this reminiscent of the kickoff event this year where it was on LAN, but it didn't really matter? I would love to know, Kingdom. I'm assuming you think this counts, but I don't want to speak for you. Like, why do you think this counts for the Pro-Am to be considered like a chip win?
I think it's interesting. Somebody said, I don't know if it was Zoom, I don't remember who it was, but they were like, there's a championship that Krim has been counting, like I don't remember the event, but like only like 4 teams were
It was
there or
like
something like
PAX or
that.
something where there was
Something
like
weird. Yeah.
6
And it's
teams or
like
something.
somebody was like, he can replace that with this. Like, I honestly feel
It's a
that this
half a
is,
chip, maybe. Is it a half a
I
chip?
think, like, to me, it's a whole chip. The only thing missing is a crowd. But I feel like I mean, I think we can't determine if it's a chip because people weren't playing hard, because I know there's no team in the CDL that didn't want to win. Like, everyone wanted to win. The unfortunate truth of lag is, like, they didn't want to place last at an event after winning an event. Like, that, they were trying. FaZe hasn't won anything this year. They wanted to win, guaranteed. When they took that L to Optic and it was a single elimination bracket and they couldn't make a run in the losers, like, they felt that. They were trying to beat Optic, like, 100%. When it comes to Optic Texas, like, you know, they beat FaZe with General, and then they went up against the next team, like that's the thing, like what Ruth said, as a lot of people are saying, it's like a minor. It's not a major,
Yeah.
but it's definitely a tournament. And all 12 teams were there. And guess what? This is probably the most similar event to our past events when we had an open bracket, because there was 4 challengers teams that actually went up against the pro teams. And we don't get to do that anymore. Like it's
That's
always just pro
true.
teams versus pro teams. So there was actually a chance for new players, and some of them showed up and showed out, and we're talking mess about the thieves and all this. But of course, when the bracket came out, there wasn't a single AM team in the bracket. Um,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some teams like Lag, Surge, like some teams looked really like kind of poor at this event. And, in the words of Aches, there's some blowing it up that might need to happen. I know we're going to talk about rosters, but I think the teams that like we're looking at on the screen right now, most of them, with the exception of maybe Legion, actually, there's a couple that might make some changes. I feel bad for New York. They won an event and they're still 11th in the league. Like, probably
It's
not going to
almost like
champs
it
unless
doesn't
they win
count.
another one. Yeah. They need to win another event to go to champs. They got to place probably top 2, top 3 for the last 2 events of the year.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think, I mean, all right, listen, I know I came in pretty harsh, mostly just because I wanted, for debate's sake, you might have convinced me a little bit, Kingdom, that does actually make sense. Because when you said, like, this is like the old events where there's AM teams, there's cash on the line, like, that's, we love cash.
Oh yeah.
But there was no like league back then to attribute points to the wins and losses.
Yeah. Good point.
In the same way that we do now. So I do wonder, like, and I love what Ruth CR said in the chat. It's not a major, but it's still a tournament. And I think as the league progresses and we're looking back in 5 years, when we're looking at all the major wins and those major chips,
Yeah.
I think that, that's what you would look at as like a major win is like a legitimate thing, and anything else is like nice pat on the back, but
Yeah.
maybe it doesn't. You still won a tournament, which is it's something to be proud of for sure. I'm not saying NYSL or those players shouldn't be proud. It's definitely a feat. It happened on LAN. All the teams were there. There were AMs. Like, it's legit, but also subliners still in. Where are they? Bring them standings up again. This is horrific
11th.
to look at, actually.
They're in I don't think you want to look at it, but they're 11th.
Yeah, so let's talk about the standings here. Unless is there anything else from the Pro-Am that you wanted to discuss, or you want to talk about standings,
real
rosters?
quick, like honestly, for the Pro-Am, I know I already mentioned the full sale against LAT. That is indicative of their team all year. Like they have great chances. They get right there and then they just let it go.
I know Nature had to be just absolutely losing
flipping his keyboard. He loved Search and Destroy. That's how, like, first time I watched Nate, he was doing Search and Destroy on like Modern Warfare 3. Like, this is like he was throwing the keyboard that the nice 100 Thieves one. He was chucking it across the room. Like, I can't even.
Okay, he's got 100 more. Get it?
I'll go.
I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
I'll go real quick through my notes that I had.
Yeah, let's do it.
Number one, I'm kind of curious what you think, but on an interview, Simp said what he is insecure about when he's on stage is that the crowd doesn't like him. And
no shot. He said that out loud?
Said that in a CDL video on the YouTube channel that you can go watch. It's the most recent video I think they uploaded. And he said out loud,
that's wild.
He's insecure because the crowd doesn't like him. And I will tell you that I think that is why FaZe is having a hard time winning a major. I think the villain narrative, Simp doesn't like
villains.
It. And Arcides doesn't like it. When they asked Arcides who he admires in that same video, he said Scump and Hex. Like, those guys, they don't want to be hated by the rest of the community. They just are good and they like being good. And they became villains last year because they were great and they were beating everyone and they got to talk a lot of trash. And it wasn't until that like Optic event when they're like, ooh, and then they get reverse swept and it's like, oh crap, like we got beat, and so I think there's a debate about number one rankings. I think we keep saying, well, FaZe is the best. And it's like, because they have the most points but they haven't won anything. And I know that the FaZe guys and Crowder would say, they need to, and look at that 15 points. Optic can make that up and be number one after this next event. Before the major, even they can make up the points. It just depends on how they play and how FaZe plays. And so number one in power rankings is a question. OG is definitely the kryptonite of FaZe. They haven't lost to them. They're 4-0 this year. And if they can keep that, it'll matter at champs. If they can just not lose to FaZe all year long. The LAG placement was unfortunate. The Surge group play 0-3. Like they showed nothing.
Damn.
I don't know. Like
shouts
I don't know
to Joey D.
Yeah, and they're 8th, so they need to do something to keep that because the RØKKR are coming for them, the Ultra are coming for them, and even the subliners are going to try to chase them. They're only 30 points down. Like they place higher in an event and it's over. You know, like if Surge goes straight to the losers bracket in the next major, NYSL, you guys, Toronto, they can all move up above the Surge. So they need to do something. And then lastly, I want to say I am loving Stephen Aches Smith. I don't know if you've seen those tweets.
Yes, the hottest takes, the hottest aches.
Man, that is the content coming out of CDL this year. All of the series you guys have, the series NYSL has, the series Optic has, like all of these different series coming out, LAT, their series, like all of these different series and all of this content. I'm loving it. I am absolutely.
Same.
I got to go to the Boston Breach Party at PAX and meet Methods and TJ and Nero and Cap.
Nice,
you know,
bro.
It was so much fun. And like, I love what the CDL is doing this year. And honestly, like, if I had to give a full recap, I'd say this was, I mean, it was a great event. It was fun. It was honestly fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, Call of Duty on LAN always is. Even if the chip doesn't count, I won the debate. Just kidding. I don't think I won, but I'm still. I guess I wonder. I don't know if there's a way to like do a poll in our chat, just see what our chat thinks. I don't know. If you're looking at these standings here, it's hard to say that the Pro-Am indicates anything, right? I mean, the power rankings, obviously, like you got a more information to inform that, but it hasn't changed anything in the standings, which is really good for Minnesota RØKKR because we did not perform well at the Pro-Am. Like, let's just right, we haven't been performing well, and thankfully, like I think we have a really close race here. If you're looking, at the middle from 6th. I mean, even really all the way until like 11th. And maybe even if Paris gets crazy, like, hey, we did a poll in the chat. Let's go. Producer Shannon, Producer Will. I'm not sure who did it, but I'm voting no. Hashtag vote no. Just kidding. Vote however you think. Yo, 60% said no. Damn, Kingdom, that's crazy. No, I'm just kidding. We literally just started the poll. But I mean, yeah, so if you look at the points race here, it's about to get dicey because as we all know, we talk about it every time we do the rotation. Only the top 8 teams make it to champs. Let that sink in. That's 4 teams that are not going to champs this year. And if champs were tomorrow, RØKKR would not be going. That is not okay. Not good. Not indicative of this organ. Levi's pissed about it. I don't know if you guys can hear him. He's pissed. It's not a good place to be. But I think the saving grace is the Pro-Am did not count for points because we would have been in even more trouble if it did. And we still have time to turn this around, and we are still in contention here to get into top 8. We are only 2 match wins behind Seattle, Florida, and LA Thieves. Ironically enough, in this upcoming qualifier, we've got the Major 3 qualifiers all month here in May, and then we have obviously Major 3 in Toronto to cap it off on LAN. Levi alert, I love that in the chat. We're still okay, right, Kingdom? Can I get some like positivity before we rip into RØKKR here? Like, we're still in there, we're hanging in there, right?
So on the positivity note, like I was going to talk about the standings. Oh, there we go. Producer Shannon. Thank you. So on a positivity note, and I said this before, Minnesota RØKKR have as many losses as 5th place and up. It's just that Minnesota RØKKR have not been able to place well in the majors. Starting in the winners bracket is the best opportunity. I feel like we talked about this all last year, and we're talking about it again. But it's closing time, right? Like, make whatever changes are necessary on the squad, whatever play styles need to change, whatever adjustments need to happen to place higher at both of the next majors, and Minnesota will be fine. Because Minnesota, again, has 8 losses. So does LAG. So does Boston Breach. And they're in 4th place. Like, it's really the wins. But it's because Minnesota, if you notice, they don't even have as many. They're 5 matches behind Boston Breach.
We're not even started in the winners bracket at these lands. Like, we need to play better at the qualifiers so that we started the winners bracket, have more cracks at it.
100%. 3 wins minimum.
We gotta get good, kid. We gotta get good, man.
3 wins minimum in the qualifiers. That is like the bar. It's like, let's just get 3 wins out the gate. If we can get 2 more and go 5-0, great. But 3 wins minimum. And we know what's happened to the RØKKR in the past is they've gone 3-2 and still been in the losers bracket. So that's why I'm saying minimum of 3 wins. Like, make yourself at least as safe as possible, because every win counts for 10 points, right? So 3 wins is now 80. If nothing changed, you'd be in 5th, you know, going into the major. So, like, there's so much opportunity. I don't think it's time to get down. I think the overall win percentage is not the best. But again, Minnesota just needs to play more matches. They need to get Minnesota needs to get in more matches and win game 1. And I think it's insanely possible for Minnesota, because if I had to guess, there will be some level of change. I don't know exactly what, but I would guess there would be some level of change in an effort to get some more W's. And I think there's a number of players on the team that, I mean, I would believe aren't going anywhere and are very safe and are part of the franchise and the brand of Minnesota RØKKR. And then there's some others that you can move around and switch and, you know, see what comes of it. I don't think the current roster really worked. Again, this is a pro-am, but I just don't think Minnesota has the time to say, we're just going to stick with what we have because that was a pro-am. It wasn't a serious major. I think if you're a coach, if you're an organization, if you're a GA, like or not a GA, but a GM, and you look at your team and they performed like lag 16th, they might even think about making a change, you know?
Yeah.
Even though they won the last event.
Well, let's get into that. We want to talk about roster changes, and I think, you know, better days ahead, says Kim Price. Yo, hey, I'm with it, and it is needed and it is welcomed right now. Let's since we've got RØKKR on the tip of the tongue right now, let's talk about the RØKKR roster change. Major Maniac benched 2 years in a row now. Major Maniac benched again. Unfortunate. We love Mike. He's a great guy. I think he's a great player. You know, I don't think it's about his skill and his talent, because he clearly has it, but it's about how, you know, our roster was working together, and how, you know, just role changes, different play styles kind of added into this decision to bring in Havok, Colt, the S&D greasy gang god himself comes into the team, and we've got, I mean, I don't know. He just came in, and you know what I was hoping for, Kingdom? Bro, I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of something really super positive to say. You know, he came in, and I'll be honest, like, you hope that honeymoon stage happens, right? That's usually what happens. You add some fresh blood to a lineup, and then they show up to LAN and they're cracked, right? Didn't happen. You know, hardpoint's been a big time struggle for this team all year, and just historically, really, with this franchise, even with different rosters. You're hoping, okay, they got Havok, like, we can't win a freaking hardpoint. Let's at least go into this, you know, this match. You know, let's go in there, let's win map 1. And we don't, right? It's the same old stuff. It's a close hardpoint. We win the search, kind of close control. And same story, different day. And so I don't know what's going to happen, right, in the near future with this. I'm not sure, like, what the right answer is. I'm not a GM or a coach for a reason. Like, I'm on here talking smack, right? Like,
you wouldn't be too bad at it, though.
I agree.
You have an understanding of this, of Call of Duty. Like,
at the very least. So Havok with purple hair, let's go. Yeah, that would be cool. So I mean, I don't know, man. It's tough change, and you don't see the immediate results that you want. But I guess if you could have count, and you know, we're still alive in this thing, right? So it's tough, but Kingdom say so. I don't know what to say, bro. I'm just
so
I need the matches this week. I'm excited for the matches this weekend. But I will say, to put a positive spin on it, it's not over. It's not doom and gloom. I know I'm acting like it is. It feels bad, man. Hashtag feels bad, man. But there is time to turn this thing around. And, you know, maybe this is how we do it.
I know we're gonna end up talking about who to play coming up and everything. I think teams that they're gonna play, they have a definite need to beat. There's a piece of, you know, Aches used to always talk about delusional confidence. But some of your confidence has to be genuine from winning. You know, you got to win a couple of maps even just to, like, I think somebody in the chat said when we were talking about the Pro-Am, like, it's good for momentum. And the teams like Lag, Surge, RØKKR, maybe even Paris, even though they made it to the bracket, like, there are certain teams that are not liking the momentum coming off of this event. They don't like how they, even like, unfortunately, if you're FaZe, you didn't want to lose to Optic of all teams, you know, before making the winners finals. Like, and so I really think that the RØKKR have to turn their momentum around with some confidence, and it's gonna, I mean, unfortunately, in my opinion, it's going to take a change to do that. I do believe that maybe a two-person change should have been made in the first place, or a different
I could agree with that.
change. You know, like, I feel like Mike's ability to be vocal in certain game modes and his understanding and ability to communicate, and I'm, you know, like, I'm talking about Major, but it's like his ability to communicate with the others on the team and those guys that have played together. And when he came back in last year, it actually proved to be positive. You know, and not throwing any shade, I think he was very vocal that he didn't want to be benched, you know, on Twitter and everything. And so I understand how emotional and difficult it is to make these decisions. You know, every time, you know, Coach Brian comes out and says, like, this is one of the hardest decisions we've ever had to make, you know, like when they benched Lamar, when they benched Mike, when they, you know, bench Mike again, like, it's hard. And so I think, I don't know what it is, you know, if I were to talk about it, I would say that I wouldn't say it's like young and cracked or old and wise. I know there is a wild Clayster rolling around out there looking for something, but I don't know. You know, I mean, we talked about him before. I don't know if he fits. You know, because it's really, can he play with Attach? I mean, they've won a world championship together, but I don't know if he fits with the rest of the guys. And so I think, honestly, there's a lot of options, and I would not want to be the GM of Minnesota RØKKR right now, because you're making decisions like the LA Lakers. Their owner came out and said, like, we were the fourth highest payroll in the entire league and we didn't make the playoffs. Like, this is disappointing.
That's
And
tough.
so, like, yeah, with everything, put Kim in. Yep. With everything this team done in terms of content that's put out, the branding, the notoriety, the fandom, you guys want to do more for your fans. It's obvious, you know. And so
Hell yeah.
I think a change has to happen, and I think a change is going to be something to be excited about. I think everybody was excited about Havok and the potential there. I think the verdict was, ooh, I don't know if Major was the right change. You know, that's what everybody's kind of thought was.
Yeah.
And these are hard decisions, right? You're taking individual talent, team chemistry, and trying to make a decision as to what changes need to make sense for individual talent to go up and team chemistry to go up at the same time. And that's, I mean, it's really difficult. So, but I think it's there for the taking. It happened last year, and it was a plus at the, you know, towards the end of the season. Minnesota RØKKR made a wise decision that really helped the team, won a major, you know, went far in champs. Like, and I think now is the time. It's the time.
It really is, and I think the upcoming matches here in you know, what is it, stage 3? No, it's not stages anymore. What is it? Qualifier 3.
Yeah.
3. Yeah.
Major 3
Major
qualifiers.
3 qualifiers. Yeah. And it ends in Toronto on LAN at a tournament. But until then, obviously, we have 5 matches to play. Let me just talk about our draw here. We're going to be going up against LAG this weekend, LA Thieves this weekend, next weekend, Toronto Ultra, Florida Mutineers, and then we cap it off versus Atlanta FaZe. So this is good news in the sense that, you know, you're going to get a direct, there you go, thank you, producer Shannon, you're going to get a direct chance to implicate your standings versus Ultra, versus Mutineers, and versus LA Thieves, or I'm sorry, LAG instead of Ultra. But you're gonna get a chance to really claw back in to the top 8 to make champs.
Yep.
You know, this qualifying stage could implicate some of that. It's obviously there's still a whole other, you know, qualifier and LAN that's happening after for qualifier 4 or major 4, but you know, this, I think this is the time, especially when we're talking about momentum, we're talking about we just made a team change. This is where you start to regain confidence when you start hopefully winning some of these upcoming matchups to show that you're competitive with the teams that are around, you know, kind of, you know, picking on kids your own size really in the standings, and you're hopefully able to show that you're there to compete and you can make it. In my opinion, this might sound harsh, it shouldn't be hard to make the top 8 of a 12-team league. It should not be. And I have the confidence in this organization and the people that we have on our roster, the coaches, you know, Jake, who deals in acquisition here. I think, you know, I have confidence in them as a team. But it's got to start happening, man. I'm trying to turn up to the watch party and get hyped about some Rokkr, boy. Let's go. And I think, I mean, if you're looking at it, we're kind of doing like the state of the Rokkr here early on our run of show, which is fine with me. LAG, right? The most recent chip winners, in my opinion, LAG this weekend on Saturday at 6 p.m. I believe Central. Kingdom, is that a tough first match back? Basically, is that like ooh, or is that, you know, LAG seemed a little hungover at the pro-am?
I think Aches was correct.
What did Aches say?
I don't even remember. Well, he talked about that gun. I don't remember what it was called that Spark brought to that major.
Oh yeah,
what
was it was called?
I don't even remember what it was
Chat
called.
Will know. Chat will know.
But now that it's gone, they just, I mean, and Aches was like, they're gonna not, that gun being GA'd, it GA'd their team. And they made that switch and put in Spark because he did so good with that weapon on LAN. And he owned it. Nobody else knew how to the Volk. Nobody else knew how to use it as well as him. But now Spark is human. And it's almost like, you know, you look at players like Standy. He came in, he fried, and he never let up. You know, like there's certain players that have come into the league. Paul X has been pretty good the entire time he's been in the league. Like there's players that have come in, Capsidal, Afro, like these players that have come in and just well consistently. You look at London as what 2 or 3 in the standings, and so like I think that Spark is the question mark. You know, he's kind of the question mark in the air. It's kind of like that Surge team, same thing, and so I think this is a great opportunity to get a good win depending on the roster, because I don't know if Lag is gonna keep the roster. I'll just be blatantly honest. Placing 16th after placing first in a 16-team tournament is kind of an L. And so I think Lag is gonna want to win. Like, let's make no mistake. Like Slasher isn't gonna come back and be like, yeah, it's chalked. You know, like Lag wants to be in champs as well. And so everybody's going to be playing hard right now. I think it's all about the changes that are made with the Minnesota RØKKR, and if they change something about their gameplay and make the best decisions for the team. Every team has a couple of players that if you put them in the right position, they're unstoppable. Shotzi, even Seth this year, his team has put him in a really great position. Like, what's working for Optic is that everybody gets to do exactly what they're best at. Dashy gets to do what he's best at. Illy gets to do what he's best at. Like, all of them work. I really think there's a combination for the Minnesota RØKKR that they can find that'll execute on that. And I think Lag is probably gonna take an L. I think the RØKKR, I think that's a great first match. Big P coming back.
Big P.
Well, honestly, they put him on the bench because Spark showed up when he was out. I think if you're going with experience, why not put him back? Tell Spark thank you, and Spark can go to one of these other teams. Because something we've never seen and everybody talks about is like a trade. Like, why wouldn't the Surge and the Minnesota RØKKR be talking right now? And some of these teams like talking to each other, like, because trades are so difficult financially, it just is really hard to make. And so If Spart gets dropped, though, somebody can pick him up, you know. And so you got Clayster, you got Spart, you got a number of other people that are gonna be dropped for other, and they're gonna be hanging out there. And so we'll see what happens. But I think Minnesota. I think best case scenario, honestly, going up against Lag, they're down on themselves. Like, just kick them while they're down, I guess.
That's funny you say that, because I feel the opposite vibe, right? Like, they won this chip, it was this crazy peak moment, like
Yeah.
nobody expected them to run the losers bracket at Major 2 here in Minnesota at Mystic Lake Casino and Hotel. It was such a good time. But you know, nobody expected them to come out and win that. They did. And yeah, they had a little hangover at the Pro-Am. And I'm not saying that they went into that, you know, oh, we don't care, we just won, this tournament doesn't matter. I don't think that.
Yeah.
But usually if there's a down, there's an up coming up, there's an up, it's on the way. And I hope that it doesn't hit on Saturday, May 14th at 6:30 p.m. Central. Did I say
Correct.
6 or 6:30 before? Sorry if I got the time wrong the first time. It's at 6:30 according to this thing. So I don't know, man. This is going to be a good one, though. This is a good test. This is, I mean, it's like I said, you know, if you're RØKKR, we need to be competing against these teams, and I do think that we have the players to do it, to compete, and you know, I'll be really excited to kind of see what they look like when the lights are on and when it matters. I do think one thing I'll say that, you know, this team has a lot of resolve, even without Major Maniac on it. I do think our players, they can handle the pressure. They can handle when their backs are against the wall. And I think, you know, hopefully we'll be able to see that this weekend. So
yeah,
oh, man, that was cathartic. I feel like we got a lot off our chest right there, Kingdom. How you feeling?
I feel good, and I think this is almost the best draw that Minnesota's had in a long time in terms of teams they're playing.
You swear?
If you pulled Ultra, if you switched maybe Ultra out for like Paris, you'd be almost. I mean,
we do play Ultra.
You don't necessarily.
I'm sorry, I mixed that up earlier.
Oh yeah, Battle of the North. You don't necessarily want like all easy teams. I mean, yes, that would be great, right? You know, and you could be NYSL and catch a W in an event and all this kind of stuff.
Damn,
but I think Minnesota has to get. No, I'm just saying. I think Minnesota wants to be ready for the major as well. And so, if you're just beating teams that are worse, go ahead.
On the flip side of that, we need to make winners bracket.
This is true.
We need to do it. This is a kind of a hard way to make winners bracket. Like, yes, if you do it, you're building confidence. And I'm not saying give us easy teams so we make winners bracket, please. Like, that's not how this is ever gonna work. But
yeah, no,
it's not an easy road to the winners bracket. You know, and so it's But I don't know. It's like I said, like it shouldn't be too difficult to be a top 8 team in this league.
I agree with you on that.
And I think you know, there's still time. It feels urgent because, you know, it's May, but we still got time. Hashtag trust the process. Hashtag non-copywritten from Optic. Let's go. Let's do this thing. Overall, though, overall roster changes. I know we skipped over this a little bit in our run of show. Levi's got a lot to say about it. You know, what was the most impactful roster change that you think happened recently?
I mean, I can't not say Kismet to NYSL.
Yep.
He has done exceptionally well. And here's the thing, like when Krim can find players that will listen to him. I mean, I said this back in the Neptune days. It's a W. Like if you'll just, I mean, honestly, and this is him proving it, right? Like he still knows how to win. And that's like, everybody still calls him the GOAT. I mean, I know Scump is your GOAT, you know.
Hold on,
amazing.
Wait, pause. You just called Kismet the GOAT? Or are you talking about Krim?
No, Krim.
Oh, I was about to, bro, I was like, Kingdom, I can't let you say that out loud. I can't.
But honestly, like, somebody said earlier in the chat, and it Shannon put it on the screen, but it was like, Krim has a 60% chance of making the final and a 76% chance of winning when he makes it. Like, that's stupid. Like 50 grand finals. There's players that haven't even played in 50 tournaments in the league right now, like Simp. Like 50 grand finals. That is
Krim
like,
literally is the final boss, bro.
He is, yeah. And he makes fun of himself these days, which I love. And so he proved with the Kismet change, like, that he got a player that was willing to do his job. Kismet went like ultra negative in a map, I remember, but got 2 minutes and 35 seconds in the hill. Like that was old school Nate shot when he used to be like, fine, guys, fine. I'll just sit here and soak and you guys kill around me. Karma, Crim, Scump. I'll just sit here and soak up time, you know? And so I really feel like Kismet did his job. He played his role and he didn't care about his stats. And that's the kind of player that that team needed because Hydra needs to fry. Like you got to let that guy loose. Let him run around like Shotzi and have fun and do his thing. I think Paul X was a good addition as well, like if you want to count him. But I think this was the best roster move. And also, I got to give shout outs to Jordan General. Like, honestly, coming in and catching a W versus arguably the best team in the game, according to most people, you know, against FaZe, pulling off the W that they did, beating them in Search and Destroy game 5, round 10, I think they got to. Like, honestly, GG's to General. He played well. He played well enough to where it's like, okay, this guy's had more chips than anybody else in challengers. Why is he not on a pro team? And realistically, he loves probably playing on the Texas Challengers team and hanging out with the Optic dudes and then subbing in and doing well at a LAN event. Like, you know, GG's. I got to say GG's to Jordan. That was a tippable performance in my opinion for a sub.
Yeah, and it shows, you know, that he's backing up everything he's saying. I think every amateur, and this is no shade to them, but every amateur in challengers is saying, you know, I just need a shot.
Yeah.
I swear I just need a shot. Just give me a shot. And, well, you know, you give him a shot, and it's like, well, you know, I could see, you know, how you got there. But with General, I think he's, you know, he's got the chops, and it does make you wonder why is this dude so nasty in challengers, but he doesn't get his shot. And part of it, I think, is the role that he has on a team. You know, as an AR player there, and especially a slower one. I don't think he's a slower one, but just the point is there. You know, there aren't as many. There's not as much need in the league for that play style, which is part of it. And then maybe he's comfortable. I don't know. As a competitor, I can't imagine he's like, I want to be on Optic's B team forever. Like he probably wants to get up there.
I agree with you. I think one of the things that everybody saw that I didn't expect to see from General was he was vocal like Illy. And that's weird. When you have
he's the General,
Scump sitting on one side of you and Dashy sitting on the other side of you, and you're willing to be like, come on, guys, we got to do this and we got to do that. Like, I saw him being vocal to the team and like talking to them about different plays. Like, he had all the confidence in the world. And if you're going to play, and of course, he knows these guys, right? He's around the hex quarters all the time. He's in their videos, he's in their announcement videos. He's basically a member of the team, and probably scrims with them sometimes or against them. But I honestly think Jordan stepped up and showed, I'm professional, I can do this, you know, and I'm shocked that there's not organizations hitting him up, but I'm also curious as to the buyout for him is probably not low. Like, you know, I'm sure Optic's not going to just let him go, and he likes being a part of the org. So maybe he does want to hang out in challengers until Optic needs him, you know, but he gets to say, hey, I beat FaZe this year. I'm a challengers player, but I beat FaZe. Like, I mean, how many losses does FaZe have on the year? 5, 6? Like, there's not many people that get to say they beat FaZe. And so GG's to General. Like, I think he stepped up for Illy, and Optic probably did as well as they could have done in this event. That's what's interesting, is like, I'm not like, oh, if they had Illy, they would have won. Who knows? You know, because Jordan actually stepped up and did a good job. And I hope Illy gets better. I don't know what's going on with his thumb,
he
but
has, like a thumb chronic.
It's like a thing that comes on his thumb, that a bump that rubs up against his controller.
Like what Zuma had, or something else?
That's what scares me.
Yeah,
is I'm like, he might like long term have the Zuma problem, and I'm like, well, then they need a General to play for him, and because they're going to champs, right? They're second in the league. It's like they may want General to actually play a series or two. If they go up 3-0 in the qualifiers, why not let General play a couple so that he's ready for LAN? Like, they might have to actually do that and like load manage, so to speak, like they do in the NBA for his thumb.
Love it. Different minutes, right? He's getting lighter minute. I could see it. And honestly, there's not been a lot of you know, application in the league so far of a sub coming in for an injured player. I mean, I guess we had it in year 1. It doesn't happen a lot, but now it's kind of starting to happen a little bit more often as these players kind of tend to their their ailments or things that may they would have tried to play through before, because what was the other option, right? So it's really kind of cool to see these guys get their shot and do the dang thing. Speaking of getting the shot, man, I guess we can kind of wrap up current state of RØKKR, and then go into some predictions here at the end of the show. Havok comes in, he gets the shot, right? I think he's a distinguished pro, I think, before, right? Before, last year he was on Florida. I can't remember why exactly that did work out, because Florida was so hot, but then they were also so cold last year, right? They're so hot and cold.
Yeah, they're just, that's their team. I mean,
yeah, up and down.
They're either on or they're not on. It's really interesting.
All dang roller coaster. Well, I sure hope we're off when we play them. But yeah, I mean, they weren't. Florida was not off at the Pro-Am, I'll tell you that. I was expecting, I thought it was pretty cool actually that Havok, joined up RØKKR, played Florida in his first match. Thought that was kind of cool, but didn't turn out how we want. But I think, there's, like I said, Pro-Am didn't matter, man. Unless we wanted, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's no points, no pro points. I mean, the money would have been nice. No pro points.
Still cool, but like no pro points. So kind of like looking ahead, the matches are this weekend. Havok's on the lineup. I'm nervous, bro. We got Minnesota Rokkr versus LAG. I think we kind of talked about this one already, so we don't have to go super in depth on it once we get to it. But should we start like some predictions here, Kingdom, and knock through these?
Yeah.
Remember, I know it's you and me, and we could be here until 10 o'clock tonight, but I do think we should kind of the predictions. Let's deep dive one match per day of the qualifier. How's that sound?
Okay.
I mean, there's only 2. No, it's 3 days. I'm an idiot. Okay. Onward. Look at it Friday. LA Thieves versus London. Dude, that was the worst act. I gotta go, man. That was the worst accent of all time. London Royal Ravens versus LA Thieves. LA Thieves, I think they're still really, I don't know. I was a little surprised at their performance at the Pro-Am, because they were looking really good and they kind of just threw a little bit. I don't think they're going to throw against London at all. I got Thieves 3-1. 3-1 versus London is my prediction. What's your prediction, Kingdom?
LA Thieves, they did look good towards the end of the Pro-Am. They got beat by NYSL twice in the group play, and then in the grand finals. But they did beat Optic. They beat the Breach, which is a up and down team. They're towards the top, but they're like either a top 3 team or they're a top 6 team, when it comes to the Breach. And I still think LAT is LAT. However, London, they've got problems trying to pick who's going to be on the roster. I saw Trey Zero tweeting out about being a sub. I don't know what's going to happen with them. I think LAT takes it 3-1.
Nice. Very intelligent prediction. Because it's the same as mine. No, I'm just kidding. It'll be interesting to see kind of how it shakes out. On Friday, which match do you want to deep dive? To Optic Texas versus LAG or NYSL versus? Okay, I knew you were gonna say that, but I was gonna try to talk into the Optic match. But I know you, and the last one's a good one to break down too. Optic Texas versus LAG. I'm actually pretty stoked about this one. I know LAG looked rough at the Pro-Am, but like we said, it was the Pro-Am, okay? Now we're on to Major 3 qualifiers. All right, it's new vibes. Optic Texas.
3-0 Optic.
3-0. All right. Me too. Actually, me. I got that too. I was gonna say I think LAG could bounce it back a little bit, but maybe this isn't the weekend for it. So
no,
Optic
is coming in hot.
3-0.
They're coming off a victory over FaZe. They're coming with Illy coming back. Optic 3-0.
They're going to fry. Last match of Friday, NYSL versus Atlanta FaZe. Kingdom's match of the weekend, I would assume. Are you most excited for this one?
Actually, wow. That is going to be one of the best matches of the weekend. I'm looking forward to that LAG Minnesota match, to be honest, and the LAT Minnesota match too. And the Ultra Surge, I'm curious if Surge are just gonna go
on?
down like a ship in the ocean. And the Surge, like I'm actually curious, because if Surge lose that match, I could see them even potentially losing to Paris. Like I think something's chalked over there. I just don't know what it is. But I'll say New York Subliners, Atlanta FaZe. FaZe is the better team, right? But everybody keeps saying FaZe is better than Texas, but they keep getting beat by Texas. Like it's just even with a sub, like that's their kryptonite. And I honestly think the green wall is too strong. I think now online, FaZe is going to be disgusting. They'll probably go 4-1 or 5-1. Their one loss might be to the Minnesota Rokkr. But I'll say that I will say, gosh, I'm gonna say 3-2 New York. I'm going for the upset.
Oh my god!
New York is placed 11th, so that has to be counted as an upset, right?
No,
they're
dude,
11th in the
Producer
league.
Shannon, shut this guy down. Bro,
Shannon,
they just
come
won
on.
an event. They won a chip, in your opinion.
You said it was a half a chip.
You said it was a chip. Bro, no, that's not an upset. That is not an upset. Look at
They're 11th versus first place.
But they just won a LAN event, Kingdom.
They're horrible. They've got 4 wins on the year. They're like the worst team.
Listen,
either way, I'm gonna say 3-2 New York. I think New York's hardpoint is strong enough to win one of them versus FaZe. This is gonna come down to who wins the control, in my opinion.
You know what?
If New York wins the control, they're going map 5.
I'm confident, Kingdom. Honestly, you can have the upset points if this happens. NYSL is going to lose to Atlanta FaZe 3-1. This will not even be a conversation.
If I come back next Tuesday and get to talk, because I'm still going to bring up their win when Icon comes back. You know,
we got to make sure we rehash.
But if I get to also talk about FaZe, I like them beating. I'm just going to love it.
Icon and I are going to be in lockstep. I think this weekend. FaZe is beating Subliners, and I don't even think it's going to be that hard. I don't know, man. I think NYSL is going to get a reality check. I think it's going to be tough. But no, I do respect it, though. I do respect it. Shannon, that's not an upset, though. Like we could let him have the points, but also that's not an upset, right? Anyway, Saturday, May 14th, 2 p.m., Paris Lejeune versus Lennon Row Ravens, the Battle of Europe. Holy cow. That's not a great joke right now. Paris was looking kind of nasty on LAN. You never know.
Well, John actually won the AIM Labs competition, which was interesting. Like he had the best shot of all the pros. Yeah,
that is insane
by far.
That guy's like the most cracked human of all time.
Yeah, I watched him. I watched the video of him doing it. I was like, how is he? Like he was just accurate. So. If I went first for this one, I think by then London will figure it out. Trey might not be on a sub anymore. Like they'll have a for sure roster. They're gonna figure it out. I just think Paris is they're a team that should be picked apart. Some of their players belong on winning teams. I like little cat. No.
Yeah, Simba's here for predictions. Let's go.
What is Simba looking at? Like
so this is the whole drama right now, and I should have closed my door, but Levi, if you could hear Levi, he's upset because Simba's in here with me and he's not. Big problems. Yeah, big drama in the MiDNiTE household tonight.
So I think the Paris Legion are going to be jealous of the dub that's going to happen to them, or the L they're going to take. And I think London is going to take this 3-1.
3-1? Nice. I got this going map 5. I don't know what the hell to think about either of these teams right now. It's all over the place. Like sometimes Paris shows up, sometimes they get curb stomped. Like you never know. I do think London will win 3-2 though. That's what I think. We got Surge versus the Ultra. We talked about this as being a
what's our Saturday match? RØKKR. Never mind.
RØKKR. Yeah. I mean, we already kind of talked about it, but yeah, I think it should be RØKKR.
Yeah.
Looking at the Surge versus Toronto, I don't know what to think about Ultra. I keep thinking they're about to turn it around. If they're going to turn it around, I think it's going to happen versus Seattle Surge. So I got Toronto 3-1 versus Surge here. I think the Surge, I don't know what to say about them.
MiDNiTE? Yeah. Would you, at this point in the league, Toronto Ultra are currently with 9 champs. Did you make a change?
Yeah, they should have been made a change. They haven't changed anything, right? They have like 7
No,
academy teams, and they're not changing
they had
the.
some subs come in, but yeah, they haven't made an
Yeah,
official change.
no, that's. I mean, if you want my opinion, GM MiDNiTE. Let me put the GM hat on, bro. You got 10 amateur players and a pro team that's on the struggle bus. I know they've had some tough breaks with COVID and stuff like that, but they just clearly something about this game is not the same with that team, and a change is
Okay.
absolutely necessary if they lose to the Surge on Saturday. But yeah, I
Do the
would make a
Surge need a
change.
change too? Would you change?
Oh yeah, I mean, I
Blow it
don't
up.
know. No, don't blow up the roster. I think you have some decent foundation there. Like they looked good at the beginning of the year, but yeah, there's something that's just not
Something's off.
clicking about
Yeah.
Surge, and
So
I'd wonder what Accuracy's opinion is, and I'd probably listen to him more
Ultra
than most GMs would.
Ultra, yeah, he's a smart dude. Ultra, need to make a change, but I guarantee you none of us would be able to call what change they need to make. They've been one of the most
Yeah,
coordinated, chemistry-filled teams in the league, them and the RØKKR. Like, it's hard to decide what to do with those rosters, because chemistry is so important.
right.
Um, Toronto Ultra, I changed too, but I have no idea what you do. I don't if I'm the Toronto team, I don't know who to change.
I
Scrappy
would.
is
How
great.
to
That's a good call, Will.
Scrappy's nuts.
Scrappy is nuts. Like Scrappy should be on the roster probably. That's actually a good call out from Will. For Surge, we called it in the beginning. The young guys, once they started losing, I mean, we kind of talked about it. Me and Icon did. We
Yep.
knew it was going to be hard for them to keep their momentum when taking L's, and that is hard for new young players that come out and beat Optic and beat all these big teams, beat FaZe, and then start taking losses and don't win tournaments. And it's like, well, what do we do now? It's like, well, you keep playing as hard as you were playing in the beginning, but it's hard. So I'm going to say for this match, it's going to be the battle of kind of wits, like who wants it more. I don't know if these are going to be the same rosters. So I'm going to say their teamwork is going to win this, even though they lost to NYSL 3-1 this weekend. I'm going to say 3-1 Toronto Ultra.
Makes sense to me. Wait, did I predict? I can't tell if I
You
thought
did
of my
not.
prediction. Oh,
We
I
talked
had
about team
3-1
changes.
Surge. Or sorry, no,
Ooh,
oh my
opposites.
god,
Oh.
3-1 Ultra. Good lord.
I
We're
was like,
lockstep with
oh.
the predictions so far. I was just sorry, I
Hey.
was distracted by the fact that you tried to say that NYSL, who just won a land chip, in your opinion, is an upset versus Atlanta FaZe. That's crazy. So I got distracted by that. Yeah. 3-1 Toronto, Surge, Lord help them. Actually, nah, wait. This is a hard match, dude. I could see Surge
It
winning
is.
too.
This is very
It
difficult. Yep.
depends on who shows up on
Yep.
that day.
100%.
I'll stick with my prediction though. Saturday, May 14th, Optic Texas versus Florida Mutineers. Texas, I have them winning 3-0 versus Gorillas on Friday, and I think they're going to carry the momentum into this match as well. 3-1 versus Mutineers. It might even be a 3-0, but I'll just say 3-1.
I'm going to say 3-2. Florida's scrappy, man. They've always been scrappy. They just can't get chips.
Can't close
I
it.
think they got one in like Modern Warfare
They
2019
did.
or something,
With Havok, right?
Yeah, wasn't that with Pristini?
Yeah.
Pristini's another one that's floating out there. He's like a FaZe substitute.
Dude.
There's
Pristini
another
and
one that could
Clay.
be
Run it
playing.
back, United.
Ooh, come on.
Do it for the people.
I love that team so much, man.
I know.
I would still be a fan of them if they existed. Anyway,
for real.
I'm gonna say 3-2. Optic Texas over Florida.
Nice. Saturday, the big match. LAG versus Minnesota RØKKR. 6:30 Central Time on Saturday. We are doing a watch party, by the way. If you're local to Minnesota, we're doing a watch party live and direct at is it Craft Union 32? No, Union 32 Craft House, I believe is how you say it, over there in Eagan, Minnesota. Just look up Craft 32 Eagan, you'll find us. We will be there. I think I'm gonna go and bring the vibes, man. The guys need the vibes. The vibes are low in terms of the standings.
Yeah.
But I'm still ride or die, bro. I'm still ride or die RØKKR. I'll be there. I might put face paint on to hold me to that. But yeah, I mean, let's dig into the match. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, so I won't go too far into it.
Yeah.
I do wonder how LAG is going to bounce back from their poor land performance, and RØKKR's needed to beat back up, here pretty badly. And I think that They know, like I said earlier, their backs are against the wall. And I think we do well when our backs are against the wall. And yes, I know, chat, I always predict RØKKR to win. I always do. And I'm going to do it again. 3-2 RØKKR. We're going map 5. I'm going to take years off of my life. But I think we're going to beat LAG 3-2. Mark my words. What do you think, Kingdom? Who you got, RØKKR versus Gorillas?
3-1 RØKKR. I don't think you guys need the heart palpitations of going map 5 with anybody this weekend. I think the LAT will go map 5, but like this is, I would say 3-1. I just think
you're saying we're going to win a hard point. Or
yes,
wait, yes.
I am saying that. You might win 2, but I really think like Minnesota, like win the swing mode. I've noticed in a lot of series, like it's 1-1 going into game 3. And you either win that, like FaZe won that, but then Optic still won the next 2, you know. But it's like you have to, I think you have to carry the momentum from the search and destroy into the control, which RØKKR have done in the past, but then they get to map 5 and lose. And because that second hard point is just as hard as the first one. I think Minnesota takes this 3-1 though. I think they win map 1, come out swinging, win map 2. They might lose the control, and then they're going to weather hard point.
These are the vibes that we need, Kingdom. Let's go. Chat, let us know your predictions for the RØKKR match on Saturday. Let's finish. Or no, we're starting Sunday. Sorry. Seattle Surge versus Paris Legend. This is going to be a banger. Low-key banger alert. I think Surge, you know, I think they're going to take it, but it's going to be a close one. I could see this one. Map 5, 3-2 Surge. Iceman ices up. Baguettes are sad again. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a lot of belief in Paris. I do think that they're better than we think they are. Does that make sense? But
yes,
it's not enough to catch dubs yet.
No, they're better than the AM teams. I mean,
oh, for sure.
Like they're better than
they
the
made
AM
bracket
teams.
play. We did it. Paris are nasty.
That's what I'm saying. Like you can't like they're definitely I don't know, one of the top teams in the league, I guess. But you think about these 12 teams are the best teams in the world.
Yeah.
And this event kind of proved that in a way with the AM teams not making the bracket at all. Not even one. Like I thought maybe the Ultra EU guys were going to make it, or I thought somebody was going to make it, but it just wasn't in the cards. I'm going to say, yeah, Seattle. Ooh, I'm going to go Paris. 3-2. I'm sorry, Seattle.
Wow.
I know I live in Seattle, but I'm sorry.
That's crazy. You're just no wonder Surge is struggling, bro. You got the bad vibes over there, right next to him. No, I'm just kidding.
3-2.
And then yeah, I got 3-2 for Surge. You got it for Paris. Nice. I'll be interested to see what Icon's picks are as well. All right, Sunday. This is a big match. LA Thieves versus Minnesota RØKKR. Kim Price.
Love it.
In the chat herself says RØKKR is a hardpoint team. They all dang better be, Kim. I believe Atachi's gonna go in there and fry. All the guys are. I think that's the thing about this team, about RØKKR, is like we know that like all of the players individually and even together are freaking nasty. It's just about being nasty on the one day. On the one day of competition. Well, technically this weekend's 2 days.
Yeah.
On competition day. They should not let me be a motivational speaker for the team, I'll tell you what. But if you look at, so LA Thieves has 70 CDL points this season. They're currently sitting at 6th place in the league. And who knows if they'll have more points, assuming they will if they beat London here during week 1 on day 1. So if they did, and hopefully we win too, hopefully we'll be, still only 20 points behind them in the standings. We are 10th, they are 6th. That is how close in contention the top 8 area of the standings is. This is a big match, not only points wise, and I know we still have a whole nother like major after major 3, we still have major 4. There's still time to like accumulate points and get in the top 8, but I think this does a lot for your momentum. It gets you back in the swing. It helps towards your case to make winners bracket at major 3. So I think this match is my match of the weekend. Yeah, I don't think I can predict. I mean, can I predict? Am I allowed to predict against RØKKR?
No, I don't think so. I think you have to purple Kool-Aid.
My heart, I will be honest, guys. My brain is saying LA Thieves will win this 3-1.
Okay, so I'll remember your brain thoughts just in case it happens. We can say you
Yeah.
could have gotten the points.
Yeah. Can I get half points for my brain being right?
You have to say
my
no,
heart though,
producer
my
Shannon.
heart says my literal, and this is I really do believe in this team. I do believe that they could beat anyone at any given day. They have the talent. It's just they can't seem to get it all firing on all cylinders right now. But if they are, I think they could beat LA Thieves here 3-2. You know, LA Thieves look good at the Pro-Am.
Yeah.
They've looked good all year, really. Especially recently, and it's going to be a hard match, but I do think it's possible for RØKKR to win. My heart says 3-2.
There you go, Will.
Last time we played LA Thieves, we reverse swept them, Will says in the chat. You're goddamn right, boy.
So, this is a weird one because I honestly feel like LA Thieves, they're like a head case a little bit. You know, like they look good, and then like when they lost 3-0 to New York, it was just like weird. It was like they looked like they were playing well, and then they kind of ran into that, and then they got better, you know. And I honestly thought they had a chance at beating New York in the grand finals. So I was like, okay, LA Thieves, shut up, everyone, and win right now. Everybody will be quiet. Crim6, winningest player in Call of Duty history, he's good. He's going to go home with second place, be mad, but it'll be fine. They did good. They did way better than anybody thought. I like that Stephen H. Smith had the I didn't expect us to be here. Look at us type of, graphic when he was talking about LA Thieves in New York in the grand finals together. Nobody would have seen that. And so I think LAT though is a little bit of a head case, and when they get in their heads, they beat themselves. Octane will drop 0 kills like he did in a search this weekend. And I think Minnesota, because again, I don't know what their roster is going to be. Like Minnesota could keep who they have, but I have to predict based on what I think decisions wise they're going to make before this weekend, which who knows? They might not change anything.
Wait, are you predicting a roster change for RØKKR before this weekend? What do you think? They bring Major MiDNiTE back?
That could be part of it. I think they do that, or they do that and change something else. I think this
what
team wants to
win. What kind of points
win.
does Kingdom get if he's correct?
Ooh, yeah, spicy. I'm gonna say Minnesota
RØKKR.
RØKKR.
Kingdom some points. I'm
gonna say Minnesota RØKKR. I think they're gonna win this 3-2. I think it'll go map 5. It'll be one of the bangers of the weekend. Attach is gonna go off, get a cool snipe round 10.
Dude, that's all he does.
I think,
well, not all he does, but
I think Dylan, this is his time to shine, leadership wise. I'm sure he helps the team make decisions. I'm sure. But I think Dylan is one of the best long-term players we have in our league. Him, Crim, Clay, Scump. I mean, shout outs to Clay. He's not in the league right now. Slasher, who won a chip this year. But I really think that Minnesota can take this 3-2, depending on what their roster is. But I'm going to say that they're going to have a winning roster. It's going to be 3-2.
Let's go, RØKKR! I'm so excited, bro. I'm getting hype. I'm getting pretty hype. I love the prediction so far. We got one more match here. New York Subliners versus the Boston Breach. Banger alert. Rivalry alert. Methods alert. Crim alert. Pure entertainment up on the stage, I guess it's a virtual stage.
Major 4 alert. That's the two teams doing Major 4 together.
Yo, true. That is crazy. Oh man, I think I got Breach, man. I'm not drinking the NYSL Kool-Aid. I think the Pro-Am was a blip in the radar. I'm probably wrong, but I'm feel confident in Breach. I've been kind of riding their wave ever since they were the last formed team this year, and they're one of the better teams in the league. I really do like how CDL does these matchups, by the way. They're clearly matching the teams by seed for these qualifiers. And it makes the matches as competitive as possible. So I love this match. I think it's a great one to close out the weekend. It sets the tone for, like you said, their major at the end of this, Major 3. And I've got Breach. Zinni, yes, Winnie, 3-1 versus Subliners. Levi agrees 100% if you could hear him. I don't know if you can hear him, but...
You said Breach 3-1?
Breach 3-1. Zinni, Winnie's over Crim. That is, I'm muting my mic forever.
New York Subliners, Boston Breach, last match of the weekend. Boston only plays this match. They're going to probably come in fresh.
True. Or cold.
or cold.
That's the good old debate, right?
Yeah.
Are you fresh?
If
or
it was
are
a
you gonna be
LAN,
cold?
I would say they're going to be cold and they're going to lose. Since this is online, they can warm up a lot to any
They get
teams
to watch all of the matches all weekend.
And every team will play them because nobody's playing them except NYSL, so they can scrim everybody on this list, whoever they want.
Yeah, good point. Yo, I made the right prediction, huh?
Probably, although this is one like your last one. This is where I want NYSL to win, but I have to be realistic. Yeah, like I really want. I want NYSL. I'm gonna say 3-2 NYSL. I don't care.
Woo!
I'll take the points.
That'll be if that happens.
I don't want to see Krim not in the freaking champs, man.
He'll be okay.
I don't want to see Krim
he's
not
got like
in champs.
5 Porsches, bro. He's fine.
I know he's got 3 rings. He's chilling, but I don't want to see him not in champs.
He won a chip this year. That's all he, he's fine. Nah, I do think obviously Krim still has a chip on his shoulder to be the best, and that's why this is gonna be a good match. We done did it, Kingdom. I'm gonna go reunite with my dog. Like I said, apologies guys if you could hear Levi. I don't even have him in the room with me, but he, we're inseparable, right? We're attached at the hip. He's upset that my cat's in here. Oh, we got fan questions. I almost forgot. I'm the worst.
Halo was nuts. Whoever was talking about that in the chat. The Halo event last week was pretty lit.
Oh, the verdict's in from the chat, by the way. Is NYSL beating FaZe an upset? 75% say yes. Rigged, bro. Y'all are just against me. It's crazy. I'm just kidding. All right, let's do fan Q. Sorry, I almost forgot. I was just so excited to reunite with Levi, but I can't forget about you guys. Peyton J. Hansen from Instagram has a question. If you could bring any weapon from Call of Duty history into Vanguard, what would it be and why? Do I have to pick one? No, it says any gun. It doesn't say just one gun. It said any gun. All right. All of them. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to pick 3. I have 3 that came into my mind right away. MSMC from Black Ops 2. Woo! That would get me on Vanguard tonight. I'd be so stoked.
Yeah.
The M16 the COD 4 M16 and or the Black Ops 2 M8. One of those 2 burst weapons. Woo! With Stoppy Power. Remember the Stoppy Power M16 and COD 4? Oh my God. Bro, I was head glitching on Bog. Just annihilate, spawn killing, calling in airstrikes. It was crazy. So, those are my 3. What do you got, Keith? Who you got for bringing the guns into Vanguard?
Gold ACR from Modern Warfare 3.
Oh, you got the camos on them too?
I want a Modern Warfare 2 intervention, maybe fall camo.
Nice.
And then my I forget what the one's called. The orangey.
Like, yeah, no, yeah. I'm talking about. Vomit one.
Yeah. And then the FAMAS from Black Ops 1. Yo, I loved that weapon.
That was OP.
I loved that weapon. And it was literally, you'd watch an entire competitive match and everybody would have the FAMAS. Like
literally, there was no roles. Everyone just had a FAMAS. And like one guy was picked to get the flag. It's hilarious.
That's so true.
Yeah. But
Those would be my guns.
I'm gonna is it okay to do this to the fans? I'm gonna turn the fan queue on you guys in the chat, or maybe if you're watching afterwards, comment what gun from COD history would you bring into Vanguard and why? Oh, I didn't really give a why. Because they're the best. They're the best weapons.
Yeah,
M16.
I mean you can tell we're old heads because we picked older guns, but like.
Bro, yeah. I wonder if there's I'm
not picking nothing from 16-year-old
that's
the BAL.
There's a 16-year-old that's watching right now. They're like, what boomers? What guns are they talking about? Yo, Will says give the scar from dude. That thing
the way
ripped.
It reloads. Yeah, that was a good gun.
That thing ripped. All right, do we got one more fan question here to close us out? Close us on out of here. What's the next one? Wait, let me pull it up. Oh, producer Shannon's got it. Neil on Twitter. Oh, this is Nubs from the chat. Let's go. But this is his Twitter question. Explain in detail what makes tater tot hot dish so good. Kingdom, this maybe is a Midwest Minnesota thing only, but have you ever had tater tot hot dish?
I've had tater tot casserole, and I eat tater tots all the time. I don't know what tater tot hot dish is.
Well, I believe so. I think tater tot hot dish would be considered a casserole. Could you explain to me what How's a tater tot
What goes in a tater
casserole?
tot casserole?
Yeah, what's in it?
It's a layer of tater tots, it's a layer of cheese, it's a layer of meat, it's a layer of sometimes corn,
Yeah,
sometimes
yep, that
people
is
put
tater tot
something
hot dish
green in
right
it.
there. That's
Oh,
it.
yes.
There
Why
she
is it so
is.
good? Because it is the perfect combination of vegetables, salt. You got to have some nice
Oh
salty
yeah,
tater tots on there, and
salty
cheese, which is
tots.
one of the greatest things ever invented. Like, I mean, yes, chef's kiss. Like, that is why, to me, tater tot hot dish, or aka casserole, whatever you guys want to call it, is so delicious, because tater tots are one of the best versions of a potato, and to combine that
I
with
agree
all
with
these,
that.
and the if you can get a bite with all the different layers, like, it's just, oh, so tasty.
Them little potato pillows, dude. Are you kidding me? Yeah,
Mm.
tater tot hot dish. What makes it so good? I mean everything the Kingdom said, and it's a hearty, homey, just good vibe. Like your mom cooks it on a Sunday. You've got the RØKKR match coming on. You got your tater tot hot dish ready to go. You put some cheese on that bad boy. You got I like I prefer green beans over corn personally. I know
Green
that's
beans is
blasphemy
good.
to some
Green
people,
beans is
but
good.
that's my
Nope.
fave. Yo, Annie in the chat. What's up, Annie? Tater tot hot dish is technically a nuke. True. Tater tot hot dish is definitely a 25 kill streak that you got with the scar. Yo, producer Shannon in the chat. Y'all need to watch the video where the team
Yo,
makes tater tot hot dish. It's out of control. I co-sign that so hard, guys.
producer Shannon's
Last
looking cool in
season,
her little picture.
yeah, bro, yeah. Shannon's a badass, bro. Producer Shannon's a badass. Approved. MiDNiTE and Kingdom approved. Guys, it's on this channel, RØKKR YouTube. This is gonna be our closing note. If you haven't gotten enough content, all right. I know we did a great job on the podcast, but you know, if you're a fiend like me, you want more. Go on to the RØKKR YouTube, search up tater tot hot dish RØKKR, and you're gonna see that Midwestern mom from TikTok called in, showed the guys how to make tater tot hot dish, and they done did it. And yes, they may not have had salt and pepper. How did that happen? How did they not have salt and pepper? They lived in that apartment building where that was shot, and no one had salt and pepper.
But they're still salty.
Yeah, they must have been DoorDashing every meal. Good lord. Anyway, go watch the video. It's a good one. It's a good one. It's a good one. And honestly, you should spice it up, but it's so good. That means you can't go wrong. It's cheese and potatoes and meat and a veggie and is it cream of mushroom, right? I think. Anyway,
Yes.
whew, deep breath, deep breath. Not gonna lie, the fan cues this week were brutal, but in a good way. And I'm glad we were able to find two of them. Shout out to the producers on that one, and shout out to you all for watching. Really appreciate it. Make sure to like the video before you go. Let us know you like the content. Go check out the tater tot video. If you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure to subscribe to the podcast. Just don't miss an episode. Subscribe, all that. You know the deal. And yeah, subscribe to the YouTube. Lots of good content coming out. We will see you guys next week. We will have 2 RØKKR matches to break down and another weekend to predict. And I'm sure some sort of crazy CDL drama will happen and we'll be all into it. So we'll see you guys next week, and I'll catch this. I mean, that's it. Yeah. Peace out. Peace signs.